A very good morning, and my god, it is an early start here. Welcome to the video. This flight cost me £17. The seat cost me £30, and in the process we have stumbled across the best UK airport. I will tell you more when we get to the airport. Enjoy the video. A very warm welcome to our approach here into London Southend Airport. As you can see, the infamous McDonald's in the corner. Now, please, I cannot stress enough, get dropped off at the McDonald's because that will save you £8. That's where I got dropped off, and there we go. I mean, £8 drop-off fee, Southend Airport. What are they doing? So, where are we going? What are we doing? And what is happening? So, we're walking into Southend. This is the walk that you basically would take from getting dropped off at McDonald's. And to be honest with you, if you've got luggage, it is easily still doable. There's no real incentive to go dropping off actually at the airport. I mean, literally 5 minutes before dropping off, it was pouring a rain, and a conversation was had, like, is it worth £8 or not because it's raining? It was not, and the rain stopped, so, you know, is what it is. So, what's going on today? We are flying from London Southend, and we're heading to Alicante on an easyJet flight on board one of their Airbus A320neo aircraft. Now, this flight cost only £17 and the seat cost £30. So the seat was nearly double what the actual fare cost. We'll go into that in a little bit more detail as the video goes on. Now, Southend Airport, some interesting facts for you. Southend Airport has got the fastest growing passenger rate in the UK since 2019, which was their busiest year prior to 2025. In 2025, they handled over 725,000 passengers. Pretty incredible. So, into the terminal, right up the escalators, straight to security. On the left-hand side is the check-in desks, but we've got our boarding pass. It's only a little day trip today, so it's right up the escalators and towards security. So as you walk towards security, on the screens I'm not quite sure if you can actually catch it in the video, but one thing that I really liked is that they have personalised adverts. So Southend was showing adverts for Southend United, which I thought was really nice. It's got that sort of personalised touch. So left into security, Southend Airport has got the new security system whereby nothing has to come out of your bag, which literally just streamlines the process even more. So these sort of things here, where liquids into separate bags and stuff like that, is that really a thing of the past? Every airport seems to be different. So from scanning the boarding pass to going through security, I am not joking, it was 90 seconds. That is pretty incredible. That is very, very quick. There was minimal people there, yet they had multiple lanes open. Only 2 flights are departing from Southend this morning, one to Alicante, which is the one that we're getting on, and one to Barcelona. So we come down the escalators. Ahead there is like a sort of social media board, I think. It basically lists all the destinations that you can get to from Southend. People have got post-it notes on there. I think that's like route requests as well, so that's quite good, really. Not something I've seen at any other airport. So you turn around, you've got your standard world duty free, and I mean, no matter where you are in the world, there will always be black sparkly tiles on the floor at world duty free. Uni queues all set up for the gates here. This is me just now sitting down, basically waiting. Everyone's boarding. I was going to try and get on last. Boarding today, it was from, well, I say it was meant to be from gate 6, and then it initially changed, I believe, to gate 4. As you can see, speedy boarding gets to go first. I was the last one on, or one of the last on the aircraft, sorry. So I was sitting up the front. I didn't need speedy boarding. I just got through, scanned the boarding pass, and then it was a short walk towards the aircraft, where in just a second you are going to see our chariot for this morning's service. There it is, the easyJet Airbus A320, 6.5 years old. And I tell you what, it was actually a really, really nice plane. And by this point, I'm getting smacked in the face with the rain. So I do apologise. This clip actually gets cut short because I'm just getting wet. onto the aircraft, and I'm getting absolutely drenched now. It's absolutely pouring down. So there's another couple of aircraft on stand going out this morning. We are the first one out. We are due off at around 6:30. Will we make it in time? Who knows? Getting on board the aircraft now. Now look, I'm not going to go throwing a camera around in everyone's faces. I make myself really look out of place, but legroom was okay. It was alright. I had the whole row to myself, so we'll come back to that at the end of the video in regards to sort of the price of the seat. I mean, chances were, there we go, I had the whole row to myself. Very shortly after, we was pushing back off of our stand. Now, the information that we was given was it was going to be a 2 hour and 10-minute flight time. It's going to potentially be a little bit bumpy after takeoff, just while we sort of broke through this weather, and then scheduled for a very nice, smooth flight down to Alicante. We started our taxi. It's going to be a full backtrack at Southend, and then we'll be turning around, and then off we will go. As we are about to complete our backtrack, I will let you enjoy the takeoff from Southend. Now, Southend is renowned for having quite a short runway, but there is no trouble for these Airbus A320neos. Up and into a very, very cloudy, wet and rainy sky over the southeast of the UK now. Up we go, and as you can see, we're immediately hit by that lower cloud cover. We're getting thrown around a little bit now. You can see the rain sort of absolutely smacking against the window. And as always, the best part is when you finally break through that cloud level and you start to see a little bit of sunrise, and we were treated to some beautiful sunrise shots of this flight.
We'd just like to remind you that you need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign above your head has been switched off. Thank you.
Now, as we look for the sort of in-flight shop magazine that you get on board easyJet, it's your basic stuff really. I don't need to go into too much detail. A little bit of duty free here and there, your standard drinks, your standard snacks that you expect to get on a sort of a budget airline really. Nothing really to sort of scream and shout about, but I did get a hot refreshment which you'll come to very shortly. Now, I'm just going to put some of these clips in because we were treated to some of the nicest sunrises I've seen for a very long time. So some of the clips, I'm just going to leave them in just so you can enjoy the lovely sunrise. away to enjoy the sunrise with a nice peppermint tea, which I mean, to be honest with you, they said to me, obviously boiling water, but the cabin crew was like, do you want milk and sugar? It's like, not with a peppermint tea. I will give that one a very wide berth. So we are now sort of midway through our flight at our cruising altitude. Enjoying the flight, to be fair, by this point, and I'm not going to say there's no loo review. I hate to let you down, there's no loo review. I mean, there's an Airbus A320 toilet, but I didn't need to go, so there's no need for it. So we're now starting our descent down into obviously Alicante. I'll let you sort of enjoy some of the views we had on the approach, and then when we hit our final approach, we'll sort of come to a conclusion of the flight and we'll draw up a sort of an overview of everything that we've experienced so far. So you are now joining us on our final approach into Alicante. The weather is absolutely lovely, as you can see, especially for this time of year. We're in February, and I mean, the pilots informed us it's a very nice warm 20 to 21 degrees on the ground. So now I tend to find, I think the best thing is in these kind of videos, when we are reaching the end of our flight, it's the best time to sort of like review everything in general that we've experienced so far. So the first thing I said is this flight was cost £17, but the seat in general cost £30. So already you can see how these low-cost airlines are making their money. It's clever, and well, it sucked me in, that's for sure, because I paid the extra for the seat. Now, on the day, I was incredibly lucky because I got the whole row to myself. Now, you can pay premium European business class tickets, £400-500 for European business class, just to get one free seat next to you. So, you know, you could argue that it could be actually cheaper just to book the seat next to you as someone else and just put them on as a no-show. I'm not advising that. The whole Southend Airport experience was absolutely incredible. I cannot sing praises enough, and I will criticise when I feel like criticism is due on these videos. Southend Airport was absolutely brilliant. From walking through that front entrance to getting through security and down into a waiting area seat, I'm not joking, I do not think it took me any longer than 5 minutes. That is absolutely incredible. Now, you could argue, when it gets busier in the summer, is that process going to slow down? Is there going to be restraints? Is there going to be problems at security? Well, who knows? Who knows? Boarding was very, very swift and smooth. Like I say, I waited till the very end. I got on towards one of the last passengers, and the flight in general, the crew were brilliant. The flight was amazing, and I think, honestly, for £17, it was absolutely incredible. I suppose you could ask that if you had a premium to pay a little bit extra to fly from Southend, would you do it compared to Gatwick or Luton? And yes, every single time I would pay that premium to experience that calm, relaxing environment. Overall, this is one of the best easyJet flight I have probably ever taken, and it's one of the best flights I have taken in a very long time. Would it have been different if the cabin was full? Absolutely. But before we get down into Alicante, I'll let you enjoy the landing, and when we touch base in Alicante, you'll see the problems that I think are ahead for the summer. very warm welcome to Alicante, and it was a warm welcome, especially for February. Very nice landing, very well executed by the flight crew. We vacated left here onto the main taxiway before taxiing on towards the main terminal building, where we was joined by a jet bridge. Yes, bingo. I mean, probably not going to be the case in the summer. I feel like they're probably charging a bit more of a premium. easyJet have obviously bounced at it and taken that opportunity as it being out of season. Now, I feel like as we pull onto stand, there's got to be a bit of a but in this video, and I think we're about to hit the but. I think we have got a huge problem coming up ahead this summer for people in the UK going to the EU. There's this new system in place, and I'm sure people that watch the video are aware of it, and I'm sure there's people that aren't aware of it. You have to scan your passport and register your finger biometrics. This is a system that's new. Now, I registered my biometrics in Berlin in December, and after you've registered the biometrics, you then still go to the e-gate. I think the process eventually is going to be to eliminate getting stamps in your passport, and they're obviously introducing this now, whereby everyone needs to get their fingerprints done, everyone needs to have their passport scanned on this new system. Okay, so what's the problem going to be? Well, everyone's going to need to get it done. And I was flying out of season, bearing in mind, and the airport was relatively quiet. I explained to the guy, in essence, that I've already done this in Berlin before, I don't need to do it again. No, you need to do it, Okay, so I scanned my passport again, and it just told me to go directly to the e-gates. Directly to the border control. It was just unorganised. There was no sort of clear direction. There was no clear signage, and I just think that in the summer this is going to be a huge problem. It doesn't matter where you're flying. I think if you're flying to one of the big summer destinations this summer, this is going to be a bit of a pickle. I think that was already started to show as well in the likes of, sort of Geneva this sort of skiing season. There's big delays there, but overall, that's that little rant over. As we walk through the arrivals here into Alicante, it's been an incredible flight, incredible experience at Southend Airport, all for £17 if you don't pay for the seat. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.